Now if you'll flip the page over, we just sang about above, this song has below, so whichever way you feel nurturing comes, trying to cover the bases here. In this song I've just changed one word. I've changed the feathered thief in the last verse to a feathered friend because the crow also has a right to eat. Feel free to join in if you know this one. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music from the land. Inch by inch, inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her loving care. An old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered friend up there. Inch by inch, inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down.
We're gonna have to pull the heaters out soon.
I know.
Which is fine. It's like almost the end of November, so I guess we should be expecting it to be a little bit cooler, shouldn't we? So how did your experiments with your vegan recipes go? Well,
I don't know yet.
yeah.
To be determined.
Oh, yeah, it's a completely different way of cooking. Like you need completely different ingredients than what you're used to, and then I chose muffins, and they have a different consistency than any other muffin, and I thought it was wrong, but I looked at the picture and I'm like, oh no, that's what they look like. But I also sprayed the pan with butter, and I was like, dang it, you can't, like, that's not vegan. So it's really just this change in the system of the way in which we do things, which is why I decided that Micah 6-8 was a really good choice for this week, because a lot of the work we're doing at the land isn't just about the church work of charity, of like giving to other people who have less than us, but it's really about, okay, well, how are we victims also of a system that's just really wrecking the world and is just damaging to our lives? So I am not a vegan, but I definitely wish I was a vegan. And there are many reasons that I think becoming a vegan, or even just trying to lessen the amount of meat, wheat, or animal products would be beneficial for the environment, for workers' rights, for human health. But for me, it's really about animal rights and the way that animals are treated. As you know, I love animals, sometimes more than people. Not too often. Not right now, but other times. So it's really not about it being a rejection of meat. Like, I don't have anything against people eating meat. It's really against this system of factory farming, which is responsible for raising 99% of the animals in the United States, that's just reliant on cruelty. It only takes a few minutes to research online to find out all of the horrors of factory farming. Mother pigs spending their lives in gestation crates, confined so tightly they can't turn. Piglets taken from them within a few weeks after their birth and who will live just 6 months before their slaughter. Calves taken from their mothers the day they were born, while mother cows are forcibly impregnated over and over to produce milk for the babies they'll never see again. Chickens spending their entire lives in spaces smaller than a piece of paper, never able to spread their wings or to peck in the dirt, never able to do any of the things that chickens are supposed to do that are good and for their mental well-being. Years ago, Fiona and I sat through a presentation by a faith representative from the Humane Society, and I was hoping Becca was here because she was there.
Yeah.
She was with me at that, and Fiona was not very old. She was like 7, so this wonderful speaker had all this video footage of factory farms, and you already know that it's not fun to watch. It's really difficult to watch. And so when Fiona and I came home, and she was like, I'm embarrassed to say, like 6 or 7, we were both sort of like committed to never eating animal products again. Financially supporting the cruelty of these processes by purchasing meat from factory farms was terrible enough. But the thought of enjoying the taste of a tortured life was just emotionally overwhelming. For me, veganism was a call to participate in the transformation of systems that treat animals as though the only purpose for their lives was to become meat for my dinner plate. My issue is not with humans eating meat. The problem for me is that animals are being treated as though they are meat before they are even born. Last Friday, I had talked to some of you about this and forced pictures on you, but I took Fiona and her friends to the wildlife sanctuary in Keensburg, Colorado. Has anybody else ever been there? It's amazing! It's like the best place in the whole world. If you ever have a chance, I would highly recommend going out there. It's over 10,000 acres of natural habitats for more than 600 rehabilitated animals. Here we witnessed lions and tigers laying belly up in these large open habitats, enjoying the warmth of the sun on a cool autumn day. These lions, tigers, bears, wolves, leopards, and other rescue carnivores experience horrific living conditions for most of their lives. But at the sanctuary, they are slowly reintroduced through a phasing rehabilitation program to larger habitats and reintegrated into new family groups. While some animals are so traumatized they need to live alone in small enclosures to be happy and to feel safe, other animals adjust to a life of freedom and form deep bonds with members of their same species. These bonds are visible in each habitat where a new family is created. A pack of orphaned wolves napping together in a formation as tight as puzzle pieces. 2 male lions, forehead to forehead, grooming one another after a late afternoon meal. But other animals, placement with their own species comes as a confusing confrontation with their own self-identity. A camel rescued from a horse boarding facility in Colorado arrived behaving like a horse. And when you listen, so you can walk around the sanctuary and they have these boxes that you can push the button on and they'll tell you the story of the animal. And so this story began with, and this camel has lived with horses and he believes he's a horse. And it like pauses. And of course, me and the girl are like, oh, like that's adorable. Like, it's so cute. And he's like, but wait. And so but it really took me a while to think through, like, this camel will never know that he's a camel. And so even though he's now living with the companionship of another camel that was rescued, he will always struggle to find belonging for the rest of his life. This camel behaves like a horse, but is programmed biologically to exist as a highly social camel. This camel has never learned the language of his species, which makes many sounds, including moaning and groaning sounds, high-pitched bleats, loud bellows, and rumbling roars. This camel has never learned the hum of his mother or learned to hum back to her, a tradition of care and connection providing a sense of belonging in the world. This loss of belonging by identity confusion for the camel actually feels closely connected to the confusion our own species has with identity. Outside the systems of the sanctuary, we betray our relationality to our species and to all others when we identify cows only as hamburgers and pigs only as bacon, tigers only as entertainment and attractions, and camels only as transportation. When we assign identities based on the usefulness to our species that dominates all others, we have denied true identities for the communities that claim us as our own. A camel may identify as a horse, but it is the community of camels who claim the camel as their own. A camel is a camel because no matter how that camel behaves or where that camel resides, the community of camels claim them as their own. There may be a forgetfulness of identity, but there is never an absence of belonging. And this blessing of belonging extends to us in our own story. This blessing of belonging is that a community's claim supersedes the false identities we create to survive. We may live as though our identity is the violent dominator and driven consumer, but these are not communities claiming our souls. The community that claims us exists beyond the systems of exploitation that our lives have become dependent upon. We are not who we claim to be in the practice of colonialism or in our loyalties to capitalism, where all lives are singular and cut off and abandoned to survive in this world alone. We are not who we tell ourselves we are when we echo the exclusionary language of a system that can only survive if we believe that we will never be good enough for belonging. Belonging is possible for these rescued animals just as it is possible for us. In the umbrella of a sanctuary where there are systems to provide comfort and understanding and compassion and inclusion to all of creation who know this planet as their home. At the sanctuary, meals are served in abundance as to not cause competition among fragile families. High walkways are constructed for human visitors to ensure that the animals below feel secure in their territory. The sanctuary respects the limits of each animal, knowing that for each animal, rehabilitation will have a different outcome. The system at the sanctuary is based on relationality, respect. It's based on love. In this sanctuary, we call the land we embark on our own collective rehabilitation. From the toxic identities offered to us since birth, we take small steps away from the tight, airless spaces of emotional, physical, and spiritual suffering. In the presence of the prairie, we can see what has been present all along. that we are not reliant on church polity or economic policy or socioeconomic categories to be called and claimed and cared for by the community of all beings. Whatever names this world has used to teach you who you are, the community who claims you knows you as beloved. This is the inescapable community of care connecting all things, us to one another, creation to ourselves. This community conspires on our behalf, on behalf of all creatures, so that we might be born of the soil and be sustained by the light, be fed by the plants, and be returned to the soil. This community thrives within systems reflective of the expansiveness of the diversity of God's love. There is no fall, no failure, no flaw that betrays the deep relationality into which we are all born. We were formed of the earth, and we will be received to the earth upon our last breath. There is nowhere else to go. There is nowhere else to belong. This is the community that claims us as our own. Today we gather to experiment with vegan dishes. We come to be safe in a place, in a world where veganism is not accepted and is usually responded with jokes or criticism, with lackadaisical attitudes towards animal suffering and a food system that denies most of the world of food. But today we gather around a true communion table to taste things that may or not be favorable, but there's something for everything, as Jessica said. But it's a taste testing process of seeking a world that is more just, that is based on relationality, that is founded in love. And so today I offer up gratitude for the risks that you take and for the presence that you share with one another in this place. Amen. Are you eating dirt? Well, Tracy's eating dirt, and that's gotta be vegan.
Depends on what's inhabiting.
Yeah, that's true. We hope it's vegan.
Well, I invite you to listen and then join as you feel ready in this song, which I'll repeat a few times. A simple song based on Micah 6:8 about doing the justice now in front of us, every step of the way. Help me do the justice to be done today. Help me love kindness in all I do and say. Help me walk humbly with you, oh God, I pray. Every step of the way, every step of the way. Help me do the justice to be done today. Help me love kindness in all I do and say. Help me walk humbly with you, oh God, I pray. Every step of the way, every step of the way. Help me do the justice to be done today. Help me love kindness in all I do and say. Help me walk humbly with you, oh God, I pray. Every step of the way, every step of the way. Maybe one more time. Help me do the justice to be done today. Help me love kindness in all I do and say. Help me walk humbly with you, oh God, I pray. Every step of the way, every step of the way.